Hey everyone, welcome to another exciting episode of the Scratch a Track podcast presented by the Dude and Grimm Show. I am the Dude.
And I am Grimm, and today we are here to talk about the Red Hot Chili Peppers' Blood, Sugar, Sex, Magik. And we have a special guest, Mr. Daniel Simon Stauffer III.
Hey, just FYI, I'm so honored to be here. Number one podcast in America. Just for reference, Grimm and I are socially distanced, but we're also in each other's bubble.
So,
yeah, bubbling it out.
Our 84 subscribers are going to be really concerned.
I just want to make sure. I mean, actually, you know what? I'm sure your 84 subscribers are anti-maskers, so you know what? We don't care.
Awesome. That's very true.
Sorry.
All right, guys. Well, let's get into some blood, sugar, sex, and maybe you sprinkle a little bit of magic on this shit because, this is a pretty good album, man. I mean, it's their fifth studio came out in '91.
Still say their best.
Yeah, that for me it'd be a toss up between this and Californication, but this one is for the time and place. Yes. I think it really kind of came out of nowhere. It's so original if you really just think about it as a whole, you know?
Yeah, really funky. And I like, in the context of them being like a funk band, it's impressive to me how much they stick to their guns in terms of like the instruments they use. Like there are some other instruments that they wouldn't normally use or play in the album, but for the most part, it's just bass, guitar, drums, and vocals, and
garbage.
It hits. And garbage stuff.
From the local scrapyard, of course.
And Breaking the Girl.
Well, just for that song.
Yeah.
Yeah. But pretty cool, man. You're right. They do mix it up a little bit. And there are, I mean, there are a couple of songs that really stand out. But even them just using the acoustic in a few songs is just a
seems
nice
to break
touch.
it up a lot, right?
Yeah. And I think, I mean, we can just say this right off the bat. This is produced by Mr. Rick Rubin, who basically walks on water on this podcast. And I have a feeling
and in every other podcast.
And every other podcast. But I have a feeling he was probably pretty influential in wanting them to kind of branch out into some of those, do the acoustic stuff and do some different things that maybe they wouldn't have typically done if he hadn't kind of maybe pushed them a little bit.
Well, I did read that he had a kind of a hand in Under the Bridge.
He did, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the things that's important to note, too, is, they didn't come in to the recording process with these songs.
I didn't know that.
They didn't.
Yeah, I mean, these were written and recorded in 8 weeks.
Wow.
So there's something to be said for that. Most of the time bands are going to come in, they've got some songs, maybe they came off the road and they've got some tunes they're working on, but this was written and recorded in a haunted mansion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Houdini mansion, correct?
Yeah.
Well, of course. Houdini did live there. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
The name Houdini.
Didn't Hendrix do acid there or something?
Oh, they said in Funky Monks, which you got to reference Funky Monks for any research on this album, right? The documentary that was made on them doing it. But I think I think Kiedis says in Funky Monks that it was the first place that all 4 Beatles tripped. And I don't know if that's substantiated or not.
Yeah, I don't know either. Maybe all together. Maybe the first time all together.
I know. When I heard it, I was kind of like, I don't know.
Well, because then after that, he makes a joke about Jimi Hendrix and maybe some of his size.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so, I mean, I would take that with a grain of salt myself. But so Stauffer, you're right. I mean, there's... I didn't know that they did the songs over 8 weeks. I know they were in the mansion, they said, for like over 30 days. And they recorded, this album has 17 songs on it 17 tracks, 17 songs.
One of the things that I didn't know was the B-sides too.
Oh, they're killers.
I'm glad that you brought that up.
That's a lot of content.
Infinite content.
Yeah. I did have something, dude, and I don't want to step on your toes if you were going to talk about it, but if we're talking about B-sides to this album.
It's fine. I know you want to talk about Fella's Cock, don't you?
Please.
My lovely man.
No, I don't. I want to talk about, how do you even say that?
I don't know.
Sicka Mechanico.
Okay. Yeah.
Which was featured in none other than Wayne's World. In the scene where they get into the new car and put in the tape and you know?
Oh, no. The CD player.
Yeah.
She's like, Cassandra's like, when'd you get the CD player?
Yeah.
When we got the money.
Yeah. So
but dude,
he must have had the Under the Bridge single.
Well, the funny part about that is that he puts the CD player down and it starts, but it actually starts like right in the middle of that song.
Yeah.
Yeah. At a really good part, which was interesting because obviously we've seen that movie a lot. And I always thought, I was like, man, that sounds a lot like the Chili Peppers. Yeah. It's not on any of their albums. And so I'm really glad we kind of did this. And now, I
thought I was going to drop one on you, but I should have known.
Dude, I did the research.
Yeah.
If there's one thing you can kind of count on me for, it's that.
Well, you did your homework this time.
Yes, I sure did, Larry. I sure did. So obviously another B-side, and Stauffer, I'm sure you know this as well, would be Soul to Squeeze, which is another one of my favorite Red Hot Chili Peppers songs. So it was some really good songs just during these sessions. They recorded, I think, 25 songs, they said, during these sessions.
It's crazy.
Which is pretty badass, man. I mean, dude, just be like, hey, we're going to go in this awesome mansion for a month. We're going to live there and we're going to record. That doesn't sound so bad to me.
No, and I think it's important to note, too, that's an interesting process for a band, especially when there's the novelty of going into a studio, the whole process of that's what we do. And I'm trying to remember, it doesn't matter for this podcast, but there was definitely a trend of bands being we want to be in a comfortable space. And I think this is kind of where you start to see that. And nowadays you've got bands with their own studios, which I feel allows a little bit to the creative process when the environment you're in. And of course, this one being haunted. But, I feel like this is an interesting way to get off the beaten path for recording an album.
Yeah, I mean, the home studio thing, it's funny because I feel like when bands are younger and everything, at least maybe this is more true back in the day. Now it's different because
anyone can do it.
Everything being digital, the idea of going to a studio, you don't need to do that to make an awesome album. You just don't.
Yeah.
So the idea, though, back then when I think bands were first starting, it's oh, cool, we're going to go to this studio and it's going to be professional. We're going to work with a real producer. It's going to sound amazing. But then it seems like as bands, okay, they did that. They went to the studios and then they're like, you know what? Screw this, man. We're going to get a house, a mansion. I mean, they've done it. We talked about Radiohead doing it, SDP doing it. Even Led Zeppelin, did it back in the day. Yeah. The Stones, they did a lot of Exile on Main Street when they were in the south of France.
Yeah, the south of France. But it's interesting to note that this particular mansion, they also did Stadium Arcadium. Audio Slave did an album here. Mars Volta's Deloused in the Comatorium was here, and Slipknot and Linkin Park, and those were just done by Rubin.
Oh, yay.
Dude, man! So basically, this house is just almost like a studio now. That's pretty sweet, man.
That is really cool.
It should be what is it, Sound City or whatever, where you walk into the house and they're just platinum albums, just down the hallway, right?
Dude, yeah, hell yeah, with some of those, yeah.
Yeah. Well, bringing up, I guess, going back to Rick Rubin, they had wanted him to produce the Uplift Mofo Party Plan.
Yeah.
But because of Kiedis and Hello Slovak, who was the guitar player at the time, they were so into heroin. He said no.
Yeah.
And then, and then obviously this is the not the first album. This is the second album with Frusciante, who took over for Hillel after he OD'd. But dude, Rubin before that, I mean, think about it. He worked with LL Cool J, Beastie Boys, Slayer, Public Enemy, Run DMC, and Danzig, just to name a few. Such a variety, man. And then to work with the Chili Peppers is just going into another element. I mean, it's very cool, man.
And
Oh, go on.
I was just going to say that's one of the things that Grimm and I were talking about was just, I feel like it can't be understated. He's almost the fifth member of the band.
Because I think he's done every album since then.
Probably.
Yeah, but I mean, I think too, and you can hear this in other artists he's worked with, is he's able to draw out from artists, certain creative properties that definitely the artists attribute to the quality of their albums, and what they were working on at that time. So I do feel like, somebody like Rick Rubin, his fingerprint is on the album in that he allows the artist to do what they need to do. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
That's a good way to say it.
Yeah. Well, I think, in the documentary Funky Monks, I think Anthony Kiedis
I was just going to bring this up. Yeah.
Very nicely. And he says, I don't know if you have the quote in front of you, but he says, if Baron von Munchausen had ejaculated the four of us onto a chessboard, Rick Rubin would have been the best chess player for that particular chessboard. Yeah. So, I mean, really, I don't know if you need to know anymore. I mean, that pretty much sums it up, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely made playing chess weird since then.
Yeah. It's something I never really thought of with chess, but apparently, I mean, these references, I love how they use the word innuendo. There are no innuendos in this album. They're all very blatant.
No, yeah.
I mean? It's pretty direct.
Yeah.
It's pretty direct. Another side note, dude, Brendan O'Brien is an engineer on this album.
I didn't know that.
Produced STP, Pearl Jam, Rage. I mean, he's done some work with Bob Dylan, and I mean, he's done a lot of
now,
popular bands as well.
I'm glad you brought up Brendan O'Brien because
me too.
They credit him with playing a few things on this album. They do. One of those being the Mellotron, the flutes on Breaking the Girl, and then I think he does the string patch on Sir Psycho Sexy. Uh-huh. And they credit him with Hammond B3 organ on Suck My Kiss and Give It Away. Where they do not credit him with Hammond B3 organ is listen closely to the end of Under the Bridge. And as John Frusciante is playing the outro on the guitar, you can hear a very subtle Hammond organ just like making this really smooth tone over the top of it.
Sweet.
And I noticed that when I listened to it in headphones, because before that, I'd only heard it on MTV like 1,000 times, and still a great song. I mean,
Oh, dude, it's a phenomenal song.
But when I listened to it in the headphones, I was like, they did not list Hammond on that, but it's there. It's subtle, but it is there.
For sure. So where should we go from here? Well, we've talked about Funky Monks a little bit, which I would recommend any fan who hasn't seen it. It's basically the Flea's brother-in-law. That's pretty sweet. Of course. They just had him like film and do a documentary basically, and it's good. It's not like it's more of a fly intended. It's more of a fly on the wall. Flea on the wall kind of viewpoint.
But they get these shots that are so like when they're taking pictures and shaving and goofing around.
Yeah, which is also another cool thing because in one of the scenes they show them kind of doing their kind of press release stuff, pictures for the album and everything. And dude, like Gus Van Sant is the guy taking pictures, and Gus Van Sant, he has directed Good Will Hunting, Drugstore Cowboy, My Own Private Idaho, and Milk. Like, phenomenal filmmaker. I mean, at the time, I guess 91, he was still really more in the underground indie scene of filmmaking in Hollywood. But he had I think a few of those had come out at that point. And so he was definitely known, but he was the one doing like the artwork and photographs and stuff. Now, he didn't do the cover. Somebody else did the cover, but he did a lot of the other work. So that was kind of sweet.
I do have to say, and I'm going to let Stauffer get into this a little more, but one thing I like about the documentary is that because of the way it's shot and it's not deliberate per se, you get kind of an insight into each of the members of the band. And Chad Smith is pretty much like a normal dude. He didn't even live at the mansion. He just cruised there on his motorcycle every day. But one thing I liked is that you see like moments where, for example, Chad Smith is at the piano and he's playing the piano very beautifully. And I think you kind of see like insight into the skills of some of the other guys that maybe you wouldn't known. Another thing that's not credited, Flea plays the Moog synthesizer on, I think, Mellowship, Slinky in B minor, is it? B major. Sorry. B major.
Yes.
But he has this nice little lick where the synth kind of at the end of it, and he's not credited with that. But you see him in the documentary on the synth, and at one other point, he's playing a little bit of the NBA Jam theme song on it, which I love.
Dude, and I felt like that. I forget what song it is, but I feel like it makes it, dude, it might be the power of equality. I swear there's a part, like the bass part or something in there that like makes it in there. It reminds me of a lot of NBA Jam, but that might just be but anyway.
But Stauffer, I know you had, we talked offline, but there was something you wanted to bring up about one of the revelations from the documentary.
Oh, I mean, just in general, too, I've always thought this is like Chad Smith is, I feel like, highly underrated in terms of like his presence in the band. And I think part of that is because he is a regular dude and you've got personalities like Anthony Kiedis and you've got Flea and John Frusciante. And then Chad Smith is just this like normal dude. And, you know, one of the things that I found interesting is both Kiedis and Chad Smith spent a huge part of their childhood in Michigan.
Oh.
Yeah. And Chad Smith, who has no formal drumming training whatsoever, whereas you got somebody like Flea, who's who was considered a virtuoso trumpet player in the jazz world. And then Chad Smith is just this kind of, low-key dude who
off the street.
Yeah, right. Who essentially just auditioned after Hillel Slovak overdosed and then their drummer left. And he just went in there and auditioned and they had him come in. And that was his first like real band gig once he moved out to LA. Wow. And so I feel like is very underrated. And you can kind of see from the documentary, he's just a low-key, chill dude who happens to look like the twin of Will Ferrell.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And the other thing to mention is John Frusciante is weird. I'm sorry, like,
just get it out of the way.
Awesome guitar player. He makes some great parts, and I really like his approach to some guitar solos because I think he has a unique approach that is really not talked about enough. Again, to go to Mellowship, Slinky, and B major, I think the solo for that song is just, it's different and it's awesome. He's a great guitar player, but he's fucking weird. I
was just going to say, too, like, not just his solos, but, I mean, I think one of the things I forget listening to the Chili Peppers is they're a three-piece. And I feel like that just attests to the musicianship of everybody. That you've got that, it reminds me of STP. You've got that sound coming out of a three-piece.
Sure.
Or Rush.
Yeah,
or Rush.
I mean, I guess, yeah, Rush too.
Or Led Zeppelin.
But they had Rush had Neil Peart, so.
Yeah, but they only had 3 people total, dude.
That's true, but I count Neil Peart
as...
I didn't even think of that. Touche.
Kiedis. They didn't have Kiedis' mustache.
In fact, what are we doing this about? Let's do a Rush. Awesome. Let's just switch to Rush.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All
so
right, let's go, Tom Sawyer.
All right.
Yeah, back on track. So this album, when it came out, dude, one thing that I found really funny, this came out the same week or the same day that Nirvana's Nevermind came out. Like,
oh, wow. I did not know that.
So I don't think it made its number one, but it did do very, very well. But I think it took a little bit longer because even when Give It Away came out, that was the first single off the album.
No, I don't think it was.
No, it was. It was.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah, it was. And so that came out, and a lot of radio stations. A lot of radio stations kind of refused to play it, which I found interesting. But then it slowly kind of gained up, a little momentum, and it did decent. And then Under the Bridge came out, and that just blew up.
I think too, this was in that time period when music videos, I think one of the big pushes was the video for Give It Away. And I think that's when radio picked up because it was really popular on MTV.
On MTV. Hey, dude, that was a video I'll never forget. I mean, it was just
dude, when they're on the
weird.
beach.
Yeah, it was like nothing you'd ever seen.
Ketis's teeth.
And dude, as I'm listening to the song, again, like now with a little more discerning ears than when I first heard it as a kid, I've never heard a track produced like that with the jaw harp just constant and it just it is different. And I think you're right, dude. That's probably why it didn't go right to like number one, is because
it went straight to video.
Yeah, well, it didn't. Yeah, it didn't go through the theaters. But it's different. It's not like your grunge sound. It's funk. You know, it is.
Yeah,
definitely is. And well, I mean, I don't know if this is a good point to maybe kind of get into the tracks, since we seem to kind of be talking about the tracks a little individually here. What do you guys say?
I agree, because I could go down this rabbit hole for like 2 hours talking about, everything that was going on the music scene. So yeah.
And there are 17 tracks.
Yeah.
There are 17 tracks.
There are.
So buckle up, everybody. All right. Well, let's start with number one, the power of equality. Oh. And man, it is a powerful thing.
What a great way. What a great way to start the album.
Yeah.
I mean, it just knocks it out of the park. And I feel like, aside from the acoustic numbers, that song really embodies, elements from the rest of the songs throughout the album. And how do you pigeonhole the song into a genre?
True. And I do like the fact that this song isn't so overtly sexual, maybe, because the rest of the album, they make up for that in the rest of the album. And that lyric, I listen to the music that makes me think, always sticks out to me.
And two, like the idea, this message of equality too, like you were saying, this isn't a sex song. This is touching on issues that are more global. And I think there's a really substantial message behind this besides having sex.
Well, the line that really stands out to me, and that's probably most also still prevalent today, is blackest anger, whitest fear.
Yeah.
And I was,
dude, that's really good.
Dude, when I heard that, I was like, shit, that speaks volumes. But I like the way this song starts from like a production standpoint. Yep. It sounds like it's almost through a radio or kind of off at a distance, and then boom, it comes in.
Swing!
Dude, it pops, man. It's pretty great. Then we get into If You Have to Ask. Well, sometimes I do have to ask.
You do.
Because you just do. So
you should always ask. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Consent, right. Bro.
Dude. So
equality.
The intro guitar part, there's another song out there. I don't know what it is. I feel like it's a 90s song. I just don't know what it is, but it really reminds me of something, and I can't figure it out. So I don't know if you guys, if something your ears perked up, just the that.
I know, I'm thinking about it.
Or anybody else out there listening, if you guys it reminds you of something, let us know, because
just put it in the comments after you subscribe.
Exactly, because I've been racking my brain trying to.
And I think real quick too, just one of the things that I came across in revisiting the album, and kind of in addition to Funky Monks, VH1 did do an Ultimate Albums on this, which is floating out there on YouTube. A lot of the music critics at that time do give a lot of credit to the Chili Peppers for really this album embodying the genre of rock rap, which, obviously Limp Bizkit took that and flushed it down the toilet. But, you see a lot of those elements like in The Power of Equality, but then I feel it really takes off here, and If You Have to Ask, because Kiedis is just doing that low key, like he's rapping over what's going on before the chorus kicks in, you know, which
and
is
I like
more
how he's
traditional.
kind of speaking it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has such an interesting way of not only interesting way of, but a variety of ways that he sings or says words and articulates his vocals so many different ways. The one way that I kind of, and nothing comes to mind at the moment. The one thing I don't hear him do is sing maybe falsetto a lot, but I feel like the harmonies are always so high pitched, the background harmonies from the band.
Well,
so
that's a good point. Good. And I didn't realize until watching Funky Monks again that the If You Have to Ask, that's for Frusciante.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think Frusciante does a lot of the, I mean, I don't know if they do them as, you know, a group as well, but Frusciante does a lot of the background vocals too.
Well, when they do the same thing in Sir Psycho Sexy, it's him and Flea. Sir Psycho.
Yeah. So anyways, the next song, here we go with Breaking the Girl. Now this is, dude, one of my favorite songs, and I'd be interested. I would love to know more about the background of this song because it's unlike anything I had heard them do to this point to date.
Oh yeah.
It's just so uncharacteristic in such an amazing way that there's a part of me I want to, without knowing this, almost give this credit to Rick Rubin for maybe pushing them and doing some of these songs that I guess you could say that are a little deeper. And I find that they're kind of sprinkled in nicely at certain spots throughout this album to kind of balance it out a little bit. And this is for me the first one that kind of has more of like an emotional, I don't know, I have more of an emotional connection to it.
It's it's referring to, like, for Kiedis, a lot of this album about relationships, but particularly about a relationship with his girlfriend Carmen Hawk. You know, I feel like you mentioned, Rubin, which we can get into for Under the Bridge, really did kind of pull some of this, I think, maybe more substantial content out of Kiedis in terms of his lyrical content. So
one thing I think that's interesting is Kiedis's dad, like the reason he kind of spent time in Michigan, his dad, right? His name is Blackie Dammit. I'm pretty sure that's his name. Am I wrong?
Right on.
Yeah.
Fact check that.
Am I wrong?
He references his dad very clearly. He says, "Raised by my dad, girl of the day. He was my man. That was the way." So it's like that was his upbringing. Was just like chick after chick after, you know.
Well, and he talks about behind the music too, about his
dad.
Oh, okay.
Where he brings it up, like his dad when he moved out to LA. They weren't father and son. They were like
hanging out doing drugs and drinking.
Yeah, and all that probably not so parental activities that was occurring out in LA.
Oh, so I misspoke then. So he spent time with his dad in LA. It was his mother that was in Grand Rapids.
Okay. Yep.
Okay.
I
think so.
Because his dad was out in LA trying to...
He was like an actor, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And Kiedis actually dabbled in that a bit before he started going for the music full time.
It's in Point Break, bro.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
Whoa. But that was after the Chili Peppers, dude. It wasn't like he landed that gig and was like, well, this isn't working out. I'm going to do music.
Dude, his main line, maybe his only line, before he gets
screaming when he blows his foot off.
Yeah. Because he's like, is this, because what's his name? Keanu Reeves is like, is this where you tell me like city folk, don't belong on the water? He's like, no, because that would be a waste of time. We're just gonna fuck you up. That's what his buddy says.
That's a good plug for Point Break.
Really, dude, Patrick Swayze's role in that is phenomenal. His fucking Bodie. Oh, dude, best Patrick Swayze role. Sorry.
No, it's cool.
Sorry,
even better than Roadhouse.
Oh yeah.
What about Ghost?
Oh yeah. No.
No pottery wheels and Point Break.
All right. So
Funky
Breaking
Monks.
the Girl is a badass song. Moving on.
Dude, one of my favorites on the album.
Yep.
The Mellotron is just...
Bene.
Cool.
It is a good song.
Yeah.
So anyways, it definitely thumps. It's another sort of like, I don't know, I guess, sex relationship type song. I'm sensing a theme here, but if the album's name, Blood, Sugar, Sex, Magic, I mean, what did you really expect?
Maybe it could have just been sex, magic.
Magic.
Magic. Yeah. But yeah, this dude, there's some interesting lyrics in this album. Every man has certain needs, talking about them dirty deeds.
Yeah,
To these needs, I must concede. It's kind of like, man, like I'm.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
I'm trying to be good, but I can't. I gotta do it. I gotta do it. But I find that, so I want to say power of equality, if you have to ask, and then this song. To me, the songs are a little follow the same kind of formula, where they all have this about 2/3 of the way through. They all have this kind of like sort of funky breakdown where they all just kind of do this, they kind of do their thing for a little bit. I mean, there's like little solos and things and little touches of stuff, but it seems to kind of follow sort of a formula. Whereas like Breaking the Girl kind of builds and builds and builds. That's just one thing I
one
noticed.
thing we forgot that we touched on, but with Breaking the Girl, I love that heavy percussion cart is like stuff that they found in the scrapyard.
Dude,
they were all beating on it. That's cool.
I think
they show it in the documentary too.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, I think my favorite image is Flea with that like club that's bigger than a just boom, boom, just like beating the shit out of that whatever dumpster fire can.
Yeah.
So, anyways, now on to Suck My Kiss. But
yes, one of my favorites.
Does this song start with him? What does he say in the beginning? Am I sailing? Is that what he's saying? Am I
sailing?
Or
am I sailing?
Yeah. No, but dude, this song comes in pretty hard.
Which we've got our friend Brendan O'Brien rocking the Hammond on this.
Yeah, and you can hear it kind of chugging in that part. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do like that.
So, yeah, dude, to me, this is one of the most, I think, raw songs on the album. There's something about it. I don't know if it's the way they recorded it, but it just sounds really raw to me.
Well, and just the Suck My Kiss is just, it's like, maybe that's an innuendo because you think he's going to say suck something else. And it just like it's harsh on the mouth, suck my kiss. Your mouth was made to suck my kiss. Like,
yeah.
Man.
Well, and this was another single. This was I believe this was a third single off the album. Third. And so there is a music video for it, and it's basically just
seeing.
Yeah, it's basically just footage from the Funky. Most of it is footage and extra footage from the Funky Monk documentary. But it's cool because some of the footage is actually them recording this song, so it really goes along.
Yeah, that's sweet
with the actual song in the video. I like how they piece that together. I thought it was really, really cool.
That is cool.
Which, super random, there was on their tour of Australia. You were talking about B-sides over there, Grimm. This was the number one track on a small LP or EP, which included 2 B-sides, Search and Destroy, and then Fila's Phallus.
I'm glad you brought that up because...
Oh, you're welcome.
Dude.
That's what he's here for.
I didn't realize, because I didn't have the CD singles of this back in the day, right? So I didn't realize that they did Search and Destroy. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good cover.
I haven't heard it. Man, we need to put that on the cover's face.
Yeah, they actually did a pretty good cover. It's not as heavy as the Stooges, but it has some charge to it,
But see, that's what I like to see out of a cover. Is not like a, carbon copy of what the previous band did. It's like this band put their stamp on that song.
That's fair. And they did just that.
Yeah, we already have that version.
Yeah, true. And you're not going to top that one.
And especially not with Kiedis's vocals.
Definitely not. So then we move on to another song that I feel like is a little outside of their element. And dude, another one of my favorite songs on the album, and that's I Could Have Lied. It's like I said earlier with Breaking the Girl, I love how they put that song and then this song, and then even we'll get to Under the Bridge, but I feel like they just kind of sprinkle the more, I guess you could, sentimental, deeper, emotional sort of songs, less sexual. They kind of sprinkle them in. It definitely mixes up the album. And I think it's a great spot for the album, or for the song on the album. And it's really great, man.
Yeah,
and
it's a good one.
And I feel like it comes in at a good spot in the album too. You know what I mean? To give it some dynamic and some contour, because you've got, some pretty heavy hitting songs. And it's like we can take a breath here because we've got 12 more songs to get through.
Jeez.
Yeah.
It's
interesting that I read that he wrote this song about his relation. This is about his relationship with Sinead O'Connor.
Yeah.
Like, first of all, I had no idea that they even had any sort of relationship.
Yep.
And two, it sounds like it was kind of an interesting one. To me, I just take it. I mean, there were things that, like self-explanatory, like I could have lied. But he also talks about, I just think he's basically saying, look, I'm just going to be true to myself. And he even says like but my face wouldn't allow it, is pretty much what he's kind of saying. But the song builds up just so nicely. That's one thing I really, really like about it.
Great guitar solo too.
Yeah.
Sure.
And I honestly, like, of all the songs, like, Anthony Kiedis is not my favorite singer, but I feel they do a good job of showcasing his vocals. I feel like his voice, just the way they capture the timbre of his voice.
No,
I really enjoy hearing, like, it's soothing. It's not so much like choppy and how many words can I get out per second. It's just, it's soulful.
Well, he really sings it at points, which is nice.
Yeah.
But he is good at rapping. And again, that goes back to it. I find it so impressive that he's able to sing in so many different, I guess, kind of forms or styles.
Yeah.
And he'll do it multiple different ways throughout switch it up even within the same song. So
yeah.
Now, Grimm, you've mentioned this next song a few times already.
Yeah,
Mellowship,
I have.
In
B major, not B minor.
The saddest of all
Definitely.
keys.
Yeah,
Definitely not.
No, that's D minor, but yeah.
No, I'm pretty sure it's B major. 5 sharps, man.
Yeah, the intro to this song, for whatever reason, isn't my favorite thing, but I really like the rest of the song, and I really do like Frusciante's solo in it, because I think it's not what you would ever, most people wouldn't go up to this song and approach it with the solo the way he did, but his solo is awesome for it. Like it's just unique, and it's really cool.
Yeah, I love the way the guitar sounds in this song. And again, I think I was saying on some of the earlier songs, they kind of followed a formula, and they have this 2/3 of the way through, they kind of have a breakdown. But during the breakdown of this song, when he kind of starts singing, A Good God Will Any Day Now,
Yeah.
I really love the way the guitar has a breakdown, man. It just sounds so good. I don't know what it is about it, but I really enjoy it.
It's
I like
real
it a lot.
sticky.
The sticky icky.
Sticky.
And I just like the popcorn peanuts looking at big butts.
Dude, the one line that I like a lot, that's a kind of a fun play on words, is cock my brain to shoot my load. I think
Yeah, that is pretty good.
Crucial.
I mean, I couldn't write that on my best day. So
No.
No.
My hat goes off to Mark Twain.
yes, it does. All right. 8.
Righteous
Straight
and
like
the
an 8.
wicked.
Yeah. Who wants to take the lead on this one?
I think this is like, okay, so verse 2. Holy Mother Earth crying into space, tears on her pretty face, for she has been raped. Like, I think this is sort of about, it's not so much about sexuality as it is about like environmental kind of catastrophe even then, which, the killing fist of the human beast. I mean, like, dude, that's kind of, it pretty much says it.
Well, even the main lines that always stood out to me in the song is, I'm praying for a better day. And then he says, playing for a better day. That I kind of like how, he kind of mixes it. They almost sound similar, but the first time he says it's praying for the better day, and second time is playing for a better day.
Well, and I really like the change of the song into that playing for a better day.
Yep.
It's really awesome.
Dude, the rhythm of the guitar when he sings that is awesome. I totally agree with you.
Really good.
That's really what stands out. All right. Then we get into the first single, which we talked about a little bit, Give It Away. And so, the song's great, but we kind of talked a lot about the video. And so the video, Grimm and Stauffer, was done by one of our buddies, Stefan Sednoui.
Who also did All Around the World.
I believe he did. Did he do all? I think he did.
Yeah, dude.
He did.
That was that songs with the same name, bro.
It was. Okay. That's right. Yeah. I'm trying to remember. Dude, all these guys seem to work together. He did the video for Scar Tissue as well.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Garbage is Queer. A lot of Bjork stuff. U2's Mysterious Ways. And Discotheque by U2 as well. So yeah, he's an awesome music video director. He's done a lot of other work too, but this video, the thing that really stands out to me is it's so cool. They're out in the desert. It's black and white, but they have this kind of almost
silver iridescent
metallic paint on them. But the cool thing is he does this thing where, and I believe in this, he talks about the making of that video on this DVD. And the behind the scenes, and he's like, I'm out with the Chili Peppers and I'm shooting them on film and I'm trying to do something, and then I just started zooming in and out, and that's what's really cool about the video.
They do that,
and you see that, a bunch of times, it zooms in and out, and it is an awesome effect. I really, really dig it, and it fits the rhythm of the song so well. It's pretty neat. It's almost like he's kind of performing along with them, which I think it's an interactive experience, sort of. So it's cool. It's not virtual, but
and again, I've never heard a song like this. This is truly one of the most unique songs I've ever heard, and it's awesome. It moves. Love the backwards guitar solo.
Yep.
That's an effect that does not get old to me. Especially with this one, because Frusciante does it right. With the backwards stuff, you don't want to work too hard at it. You want to get the bends and the slides, because that's where you can hear the reverse, right?
Right. You got to be careful. You don't want to get too cute, right?
Quick random fact. This particular song is the most played Chili Peppers song of all their songs.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, played over 775 times.
Wait.
Huh?
Yep.
For who?
Oh, you mean live?
Live. Yep.
Oh, I was like, dude, I've probably heard it that many times.
No. Them playing it live, since it's been out for 30 years. No. Since they're coming up on 30 years since this album came out.
Wow.
It's been played over 775 times by the Peppers. But I mean, it makes sense given the band's popularity for this. Yeah. This was kind of that song, I think, that launched them onto the main stage. So I'm sure when this came out, for how many years after, that's the song people want to hear.
Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't know that.
But I agree with you, Grimm. This song does not get old to me.
No, it's awesome.
And just quick side note, Pete Weiss plays the Jew's harp on this. It's called.
It is. That's right.
I just like that first when it starts with that first. Oh.
Yeah.
No, they are energetic band. I can understand why this would be a song that they would play probably almost every show, right?
Yeah.
It's a staple and it's got the energy. So.
Well, and as they age, right, and they make new music, and this new music becomes their live show, it's got to be good to go back to these points when they were really dropping the funk. Because one of our good friends, the drummer in the Tims, Eric Schumann, told me when he was at a show that they were playing, I think he mentioned that they played Apache Rose Peacock, And
my gosh, really?
no one around him knew what it was. And he's like singing every word, you know, but everyone around him is like, is this on Stadium Arcadium? You know?
Yeah.
Well, we were, talking, not to go back down the rabbit hole, but essentially, like, if you think about it, like, the Peppers, if you take out One Hot Minute, went from this album to Californication, which I think either fully cemented them into the minds of a lot of people, like Schumann's buddy, who was like, what song is this? You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people jumped in on Californication. And so, aside from the hits...
Well, they had a second life. I feel like that's where I feel like they kind of came back to life again, because, dude, this album's 91. One Hot Minute, I want to say, was 94. And for all intents and purposes, that was kind of a dud. Now, there are songs like P and
dude, you're right. P is amazing. 95,
I love.
But yeah,
95. Okay, close enough.
Dude, My Friends.
We were talking about My Friends.
My
what
Friends,
an amazing song.
Aeroplane, amazing.
Yep.
Dude, Warped. I think Warped does not get enough credit. I love Warped.
Tearjerker and Falling into Grace.
Yeah.
Songs. There are some songs that really stand out to me. This is I feel like one of the first CDs that I like. That is one of the first CDs I bought on my own. I was like, I'm getting One Hot Minute. Because really? I heard My Friends, and I was like, I need that CD. It's just badass. But I feel like overall for people, it was not a popular CD. Dave Navarro was the guitarist at the time.
Yep.
Frusciante left, and they kind of had a lull. And so between 91 and Californication, and 99, that's 8 years. Like, a band can a band
fold.
And even if the band is still good and still together, the music landscape can change within that
You're
time.
right. But another thing to note too is that Kiedis relapsed on heroin. That's what the song Warped was about. I mean, the first lyrics are, my tendency for dependency is affecting me. I mean, yeah, he clearly,
And if you get a chance to view behind the music, Flea kind of reiterates when Frusciante comes back to make Californication, that was a second life for this band, because I think that they were all struggling, with what to do, because, they had originally, I forget his name, Eric something stepped in after Frusciante left. Then Navarro filled in to do
Eric
one.
Marshall.
Yeah, Eric Marshall. And he just was touring with them because Frusciante just left. He was like, I'm done.
In the middle of the Tokyo tour.
Right, which is awesome, of course. But then Navarro stepped in.
Finish out Japan, bro.
Yeah.
Well, dude, who was it? Neil Young, who told Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young, like the night before Johnny Carson, he's like, I'm not doing this tomorrow. But anyways, it was like a second life for the Chili Peppers. But I don't think anybody, especially them, could have anticipated what this album would do to them, and it just blew them up.
Yeah, that's true. And I think that's... I heard some from Frusciante who said he joined the band, never thought he would get to join the band because he was like an 18-year-old kid.
Yeah.
He was happy with them staying at the level of popularity that they were at with, like, their first couple albums or whatever. And yeah, you're right. I think this probably scared the shit out of them, which I get it.
Dude, some people can't, they don't handle it well. And I mean, it's your whole world and your whole life changes at that point. And you're on this roll. I imagine, dude, I know we all think like, oh, you're making money and you're playing your music. It's got to be amazing. It's so much fun. But especially as a young kid at that age, you're on this roller coaster, man. And you can't get off. And dude, like, that sucks. Like,
I mean, I think
it's a different set of stresses. It's not the going to work and the commute, but it's a whole different set of bullshit you got to deal with.
Everybody wants a piece of your ass.
I think documentary Meeting People is Easy, like Tom York, kind of talks about that same type of, we are sitting back being like, how awesome this must be for you. But, like you said, everybody wants a piece of you. Everybody wants you to play these songs. Everybody wants you to do all these things. And at some point, like, you can't pump the brakes. So what do?
Exactly.
You quit.
That's right, man. That's right.
Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to go down that because we got like 8 more songs to get through.
We all did. So Blood Sugar
like,
Sex Magic.
Dude,
title
I was gonna
track.
say this is like the flip side of the record. So I feel like that's you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, the title.
This is the bloodier, sexier, sugarier, magicier
Definitely
disc.
It sure is. Well, this song it starts off, I think, kind of like a little slower, and even the rhythm of the song to me when I listen to it, like the song hits and it hits hard, and you know the guitars move, but I kind of noticed the last time I listened to it really that the rhythm, or at least the drums, kind of they're not they don't speed up the tempo. It's kind of actually has this slower tempo to it. It seems the song seems more drawn out than some of the other songs on the album, especially after coming off the previous song, which is Give It Away.
Oh, yeah. Dude, I know, I agree.
And
that's why if we get to the sub segment of the Dude and Grimm show called title track or album, I think in this case, album's gonna win.
But I do like in the chorus, you know, when he's like blood sugar baby, like it really takes on a hard rock approach where we've seen a lot of funk, we've seen a lot of like, you know, some acoustic side, and now you've just got straight up like hard hitting, forward moving rock and roll in this chorus, which I feel lacks up until this point.
Definitely. I agree. Well, I think it's about time we probably get into the biggest song on this record,
and it's a good one.
Dude.
This song really took them into another stratosphere. I mean, we talked about the Give It Away music video, but this song's music video, the song, the way it builds, the emotional side,
awesome.
It's just one of those songs that. Man, I mean, dude, you could put it up there with like Nirvana's Nevermind or Smells Like Teen Spirit.
Oh, I'd put it ahead of it.
You know,
it's a better song.
Whoa.
I mean, okay.
It's a bold statement.
Dude.
Everybody who disagrees, like comment Spirit. Right now.
Yeah, whatever.
I just
Smells Like Teen Spirit was maybe more of like a social and change in music statement, and it was like
revolutionary.
Fuck you, 80s hairband rock.
I get it.
This isn't what we're doing. But dude, this song, this is a well-written song.
Yeah.
The chord changes are
beautiful.
amazing. What does he go to in that? Stauffer like an A major seventh in that one part, and like, oh, dude,
it's I think this
everything about it's gorgeous.
This I think attests to the talent of John Frusciante too.
Yeah.
You know, that he could take and I forget if it's in Funky Monks or if it's in the Ultimate albums, but essentially Rick Rubin came across Anthony Kiedis' lyric journal, found these words, and is like, there's something here. Sing this for the band. And Kiedis is like, I don't know, I don't even have. Yeah. And he brought this out, and then Frusciante and Flea start coming up with the music for the song. And so I think what we're seeing here is really like, this is what it looks like when, you know, amazing musicians are able to take really great content and bring it to life.
Yeah, like really come together as a band.
Yeah, and I think that's why it's so strong.
And one thing I think we also kind of need to keep in perspective a little bit too. Not just great musicians, but for all intents and purposes, they're kids at this point.
Yeah.
I know.
Like
and
what, mid-20s?
Great lyrics for someone of that age who you obviously know has living a couple different lives up to, or you know what I mean, up to that point.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, and especially for Kiedis, I mean, geez, you know, he talks about in the VH1 Behind the Music that he accidentally snorted heroin when he was 14 years old.
That's he thought it was coke,
and then,
right?
And then he started, he thought it was blow, and then he started mainlining it, and I guess building off of that, this song, that's a part of this song and the lyrics for that song, because he tells the story of Under the Bridge, where he was with a friend and they actually went under a bridge to shoot up. And,
I mean, where else would you go?
I think he said, and I forget where I saw this. Maybe it's in the Funky Monks, but he said they went to this spot and you kind of almost needed permission to get in. It was like this special kind of hidden spot.
Oh, because it was like a real gangster to get in there.
Yeah, and they kind of like lied their way in, said they knew somebody or something like that, and so he went there with a buddy and shot up. But it was just kind of like this secret place. So like the bridge is actually like a real place, and it's also sort of him dealing with the passing of Hillel Slovak, who passed away from an overdose as well.
The sweet irony of the very thing that killed my friend, I'm using to deal with how shitty I feel that my friend died.
It's like his wish you were here, sort of,
Well, I don't know, obviously, but I think that this was written from a place that he was at before Hillel Slovak died as like a younger guy.
What? Okay.
That was the feeling I got from at least listening to that interview in Funky Monks, was that like this was prior to that. I don't know, but that's how was the impression I got.
Because there is a later song, and we'll get to it, that is dedicated. My Lovely Man is dedicated and about Hillel Slovak.
Yeah.
So that's more of his wish you were here. But this definitely touches on the drug element and experience that they shared together and both struggled with, and unfortunately Hillel Slovak could not kick it.
And quick shout out to Gail Frusciante's choir from church,
That's right.
who closes the album out, with a
yeah,
which
they did a really good job.
Yeah,
awesome. I think it's an amazing way to close that out.
The way the song builds is just exceptional. I love it, man.
And they did talk about in the documentary, like, how do we end this? Like, how do we bring this home?
Well, how we end it is the song fades out and Frusciante is just playing the outro guitar riff, and then he doesn't get credit for it, but Brendan O'Brien's playing a little Hammond riff over the top of that.
Well, I do love how the music video peaks, because you can see Anthony Kiedis running in slow motion,
like with the bomb going off,
with
his locks,
and and there's all that stuff. Yeah, it's pretty. Dude. Here's the thing with that music video, like from a technical standpoint, there's nothing kind of like amazing about it. For the times, definitely, it's very good. But it's an awesome music video, man. Yeah. It's great. It's one that I had seen. Like,
and he's walking through the streets, and
Oh, dude, I like that too.
I do too. It's awesome.
Randomly, and people are kind of like, "What's going on here?" Oh, this is, but it's Hollywood too. That shit happens all the time.
I know you guys. I remember watching this at the Morehouse. The Slane Castle performance of this is amazing. You've got a 250,000 people who are in attendance, just blasting the end of this out. Like,
that's sweet.
How do you beat that?
Well, so Warner Brothers didn't even know what the second single was going to be, and it was Give It Away. And then
serious?
Yeah. So what happened was the executives went to a show, and they're there. They start playing Under the Bridge, and Anthony Kiedis actually missed his entry point that he was supposed to start singing. But the crowd knew it, and they were already singing. And as soon as the executives saw that the crowd knew this song and they were singing along, and they just knew it in and out, they're like, well, this is it. And
that's awesome. I didn't know that.
Kiedis actually mentions at some point he was at some club in LA, and some dude in the bathroom in the urinal next to him was like humming that song. And I don't think he knew it was Kiedis. And so that's when Anthony was like, oh, maybe this song is a hit.
Wow. I can't believe that you wouldn't have just listened to that song after it was done and been like, holy shit, this is just fucking incredible.
Yeah, it's true. Well, the thing is, though, is when you're a record exec, you're trying to pigeonhole a band, right?
Yeah, and you're trying to make money.
You're like, oh man, well, it might be too much of a departure.
From
anything they did.
Fair.
So, but it's all about the money, man. All about the money. All right, Under the Bridge. Let's get
Make It in the Rain.
Let's strip. So So I heard that this was actually one of the first songs written on the album, which to me actually, you know, and I know Stauffer, you had mentioned earlier that I think most or all the songs were kind of written like in these sessions. But I'm not surprised that this is maybe one of the first ones, because it actually kind of reminds me a little bit of some of their previous album or some of their earlier stuff. You know, they're just, I'm not sure. I just kind of get that feel for some reason. Maybe it's the lyrics or what it is, but it's just kind of like a, I don't know. I wouldn't say a silly song, but it's kind of a fun song.
No, I like it too. Like, you know, just the chorus, you know, and then the whole referencing to Dr. Dolittle and all that.
Yeah, that's funny.
Well, that's why I'm just kind of like, it's a little
like the Eddie Murphy version or the original?
Playful.
Yeah,
right.
But I feel like it's perfectly placed after Under the Bridge too. You know what I mean? Like, we've covered so much territory musically, lyrically, and it's nice to kind of, okay, we're just talking about heroin under a bridge. Let's lighten the mood up a little bit here.
Take our clothes off and
yeah.
Well, I mean, some of the lyrics, you know, naked in the river, skinny dip in my way, in the waterfall, I just want to play. I mean, dude, these guys were, you know, they wore socks covering their genitals on stage. So this song is definitely right up their alley for sure. Dude, that's one thing that Chad Smith says. He was like, you know, I auditioned for the band and, you know, we were grooving and rocking and it was awesome. And then he was like, a month later, I was, you know, on a photo shoot wearing a sock on my D&B.
For Rolling Stone. For Rolling Stone. You know what I mean? Not just like a local piece, but for like a nationally syndicated, you know.
Like, hi, Mom.
Yeah, here I am.
You know, some people are going to see it.
Yeah, just a few.
Yeah.
Well, let's get to lucky number 13.
Yeah.
We got Apache Rose Peacock.
Now, this song is a lot about New Orleans. Which is interesting.
Nolans.
And, well, he says, so I found her in the quarter.
Yeah.
Good God, how I adored her. But the line that always sticks out to me is, what does he say? Rocking to the beat of the funky ass Meters. Now, the Meters are like an original funk band, primarily, I think almost all instrumental, from New Orleans. And I mean,
oh, sweet, dude.
They kind of wrote the encyclopedia of funk. I think a lot of people would cite them as
to kind of plug into that. I forget if it's Mother's Milk or what is it? Uplift.
Moto.
Yeah, George Clinton actually produced.
He produced one of their It wasn't Mother's Milk. I think it might have been the one
Freaky
of the two before
Styley?
that.
Was it Freaky Styley?
Dude, I hope it was. I hope it will. We're gonna find out. Keep talking.
It was Freaky Styley.
Yeah, of course it was, dude. And if you listen to the songs off Freaky Styley, you can tell that George Clinton would have produced it, because it's very much in like the funk sort of wavelength. Much more than their other stuff. A lot of horns, a lot of like big background vocals. It's just real funky. It's stanky.
A lot of Big Bad Voodoo Daddy, huh?
Yeah.
All right. You know, that's what I like. Okay, where are we at, guys? Where are we at?
The greeting song.
We're getting there.
We're getting there, man. We're around in the corner.
So, dude, so Rick Rubin told Anthony Kiedis that he wanted him to write a song about cars and girls. And first of all, Kiedis was like, yeah, I don't like that idea. But he did it anyways. And then when he got done with it, he's like, I still don't like it.
The thing that I don't understand is, I mean, you've wrote like more than a handful of songs just about banging. Like, all you have to do is add a car into it somehow.
Well,
like,
and
it shouldn't be that hard.
He makes reference to driving around LA in his songs too. So
yeah,
I was gonna say though, like the idea, the concept of cars and girls is such an LA type of thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that so? LA,
and just early rock and roll.
Yeah, it definitely is.
That's true. I mean, like if you,
but this song it's an upbeat rock song. I know, you know. I mean, all of their songs always kind of have like some funk elements and stuff. At least in this period. But I feel like more in in this part of the album. I feel like they really funk it out really, really early, but then they kind of actually transition maybe the last third of the album. There is some more like rock to it that I kind of feel. And I feel like this is one of those songs that kind of has a little bit more of that element.
There is, but you know what I don't notice in like the last third of the album is anything to slow it down. It's like they used all that up. They stopped with Under the Bridge, and then they're just pounding.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just pounding.
Like hole in the wall.
Anthony Kiedis was used to that, so. Yeah, no, but there is. I mean, because like the two songs that are slower, I Could Have Lied and Under the Bridge. I wouldn't say Breaking the Girl is a slower song, but it has the acoustic in it. So
I mean, comparatively,
it doesn't punch like it's softer.
Comparatively,
even though
it's definitely
the
in the
tempo
middle.
is fast.
Yeah,
it's not a ball kicker. It's not.
No,
correct.
It is a tearjerker, though.
Tearjerker. Yes, it is. So then we go to track number 15. We're getting there, people. We promise. My Lovely Man, which is about Hello Slovakia.
Yeah.
You read the lyrics. Rest with me, my lovely brother. Memory so sad and so sweet. I'll see you soon. Save me a seat. I miss you, Slim. I love you too. I mean, it's definitely true. Now, I will say the one thing that kind of stands out to me. You hear those lyrics, and you would actually think, okay, this is going to be a slower song, more emotional and deeper. But the instrumentation on it is the exact opposite. It's not dirty and nasty, but it's kind of, upbeat and rocking and moves, man. Right?
Punchier.
Yeah.
And one of the things too to know, again, we talk about like Anthony Kiedis's lyric work. If you look at the lyrics, I mean, you'll notice it's a lot sparser.
Sure.
Than a lot of his other album or songs on the album, or probably songs in general. But I feel, there's something to be said. Maybe there's more sentiment, there's more value to what he's saying. But it is interesting to notice that, hey, I'm not spitting a million words per second.
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Most def. All right, track 16. Sir Psycho Sexy.
Yeah, this is an interesting
8 minutes. 8 minutes. Long time.
On a 17-track album.
Well, but maybe I'll get to that at the end. But you gotta, when you say 8 minutes, you gotta think about all the musical stuff and kind of how big they make the ending. They got the Mellotron strings,
right.
Like. The ending of this song could have almost been the ending to the album.
It could have been its own song.
In my opinion, maybe it should have been the end to the album.
Well, we'll get to that.
In the end. Okay.
You'll get your pointed tongue out.
Well, and he is very direct in his lyrics here. A few that stand out to me are "There's a devil in my dick" and "Some demons in my semen." Also, Creamy Beaver, hotter than a fever. Well, I'm a given because she's the receiver. I won't and I don't hang up until I please her, making her feel like an overachiever. So,
I really thought, dude, that you were going to reference "She stuck my butt with her big black stick," and I said, "What's up? Now suck my dick."
Dude, I mean,
or how it unzipped and slipped. Oh, that's tight.
I had to pick. I really had to pick. It was tough. I just couldn't read the whole song. We don't have that kind of time.
Turned her cherry pie right into jam.
But so it's interesting though, because the first half of this song is like that, but then the last half, dude, it turns into a fucking really, really awesome jam, man.
I know.
I love the second half of this song. It's very chill, but it has a kind of a darker undertone, I feel, to it, and
I agree.
I really like it. So,
one thing real quick before we go on, I forgot to mention. I really wish that you could hear Flea's trumpet playing in Apache Rose Peacock a little more. Just saying. I know it's out of order, and I'm sorry, but I think his trumpet. He's playing a muted trumpet. I think it sounds great. It kind of goes with the New Orleans theme.
Turn them shits up.
I wish I could have heard it more. Sorry, out of order.
It's okay.
That's when the judge is like, out of order.
Unforgivable.
I don't think I've ever heard a judge say that, but maybe in the movies.
I swear they say that in the movies, don't they?
Oh, in the movies, yeah. I'm just saying in real life that doesn't happen.
Yeah, I guess I was. What's the one with Michael Richards and Jeff Daniels?
I don't know. It's gotta be a good
I'm
one.
gonna look up now. Okay, keep going.
All right. Last track. How hot are they? They're red hot. Red hot.
Yeah.
So this is a fun little outro. It's
Sure.
like a I don't even know how to describe it. It's like a hillbilly kind of type jig or something.
Yeah.
Well, it's actually, dude, that song was
minute.
written by Robert Johnson.
Is it? Okay.
Who's an old blues player.
Does he play it that fast like that? Like,
No, he doesn't.
right. Okay.
But it's for a guy who typically just plays like straight blues. It's a little more kind of, I guess I see why you would describe it as a jig, but I don't think it's Irish in nature.
no, I don't think so either. No, I mean, you could do River Dance to it probably, right? At least the Red Hot Chili Peppers version.
Yeah, probably.
For what, the minute and a half the song is?
Yeah, where's Michael Flattery when you need him?
Dude, Trial and Error. That's a movie. I'm sure the judge says that in Trial and Error.
Trial and Error. God.
Dude, that's
Some
so
really
random.
Bad movies. Okay.
Dude.
All right, guys. All right.
All right.
We got to scratch this.
I feel like for 17 tracks, we could scratch 2.
No.
Okay.
We should.
It's only one.
Only one.
Let's pull out our chili peppers, man.
I was almost thinking the pointed tongues from the cover.
Okay.
That seems like you could get in the groove of an LP.
Aren't there rose thorns too?
Oh, yeah, the rose thorns.
I say we go with the rose thorn. Actually, their tongues are rose thorns too. If you look at them, kind of. That's sweet. All right.
That is a cool cover.
Boom. It's a fucking great cover, man. We didn't talk about that. Phenomenal cover. Love it. All right. Should we give our guest of honor first crack? Or
Oh, yeah.
How do you?
Yeah.
Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. All right. DSS.
All right, man. My pending no OT. My track is number 17. They're red hot.
Okay.
What say you, dude?
I am going to go with the song that you wanted to hear some more trumpet in, and that is Apache Rose Peacock.
I was just talking to Grimm about that.
And I'm going to choose that one really because I when I listen to it, it's kind of it doesn't speak to me, Breathe. It just doesn't. Like, there's the lyrics don't do much, and I'm just like, Like, we could do, on a 17 track album. Why don't you put like Soul to Squeeze in there?
Dude.
You know, like there's a couple.
I would have put that one.
Or
You know, what's the other one?
Yeah, Wayne's
Sir
World song.
Crack-a-lack-a-lot or whatever. The
that
one from Wayne's World.
Yes, that one. Sickamecca Co. Yeah.
Nigga, not gonna work here.
Not gonna work here anymore, anyways.
Okay. All right. What do you got, Trim? We overtiming it?
We're going OT.
Okay. What?
We are going to overtime because I would have put the Red Hot as well. Now,
I feel like that's an easy song to red hot it.
I know, but the thing is, I get it. Just the rest of the album has such consistency. Now, not to say that I wouldn't have replaced a few other songs on the album with Soul to Squeeze and Sicka Mechanico, but if I had to scratch one, I guess that would be it. Which is a bummer because I love watching the footage of them record that all together outside. I think that's really cool. Really cool.
Dude, I thought that was badass too. I really, really liked that part.
I do too.
Yeah. My backup,
and I like it, but I've already known the song. It's like everything else is so new to me, but that I know, and I could do without it.
I will say my backup was Sir Psycho Sexy, just because, the first half of it, like, it's fun and it's kind of funny to listen to, but for an 8-minute song, like cut that in half, give me the instrumental part, and let's fade out. Let's go home. Like I'm good.
Yeah, I hear you.
All right.
Well, but Stauffer, now since you and I went into overtime.
Oh shit! You guys got to take it to the next level.
Yeah,
I got to back up.
Okay,
with 17 tracks, so I'm gonna go. My backup would be the greeting song.
Ooh.
We don't do double, do we?
Why is that yours?
We talked about double overtime.
I was gonna say, dude, this album, 17 songs. You gotta do whatever the fuck you want.
Hey, double overtime, man.
It's like it's harvest.
Ooh.
Yeah, I guess the greeting song would have been one of my choices, but then especially reading about how they came up with it and the fact that they still really didn't like it after it was done. It seems like why the fuck would you leave that on when you could have put Soul to Squeeze or Sicka Mechanico on it?
Yes.
Agreed.
Why? Why,
So,
God?
Do we need a triple? I got
Well,
third.
we can't go into triple overtime, but I'd like to hear what your other alternate is.
I would probably go with Dude's first choice if I had a triple with Apache Rose Peacock.
Okay, I think I'd probably do Naked in the Rain, but
Okay.
Ooh, interesting.
I
I just want to know.
I did consider
appreciate
that one. I did consider that one. So.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with Naked in the Rain to me. There's nothing wrong with any of the songs, but it doesn't
like
grab
it,
me
Naked.
like the other ones.
Get naked, sweet.
Yeah.
It's like the shower scene in the Shawshank Redemption.
Exactly. Well, it's not really a shower.
Being enjoyable.
Well, dude, after swimming through a sewer, that is a shower.
That's a shower. Oh, fair. Well, when you think of shower scenes in prison movies, that's not usually the first one.
Well, I was going to say, it's probably more peaceful than the ones he was used to.
Yeah,
With
don't drop that soap,
the
buddy.
sisters.
The sisters. All right, spoiler alerts. Jeez, guys.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
For those of you who haven't
All right.
seen.
Well, I think that officially scratches Blood, Sugar, Sex, Magic. And I should say magic with a K.
K.
Just
Yes.
in case you're- for all you spelling at home.
John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt, thank you for being
Oh,
with
man.
us.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to make my debut.
Yep.
Podcaster.
It's been.
Well,
it's
depending
been
on how
real.
many views, we'll decide if you get invited back. So
Yeah, and
Yeah.
if you get a
We'll
chance,
see.
definitely watch Trial and Error with Michael Richards and Jeff Daniels.
I know I'm doing this
Maybe
weekend.
maybe
Great
do a double
movie.
feature, Trial and Error in the air up there. I mean, you know.
I love it.
So
Yeah.
all right, I'm going to do our outro trim. Thank you, everybody, for watching, listening, subscribe, like, comment. Let us know what your scratch would be. Yeah, we hope you will come back next time because I'm sure we got a great album next week. Happy Hump Day, y'all.
Signing out.
Scratch a Track is produced by the Dude and Grimm. Additional music provided by More. That's ... MORE. And the Tims. TIMNZ. Copyright 2020. The Dude and Grimm Show.
You don't have to take it back.